This is Frank Islam, Chairman and CEO of FI Investment Group and your host of Washington Current Review, where we interview leading voices from business and politics that impact you, the viewer. Today, our guest is Anil Patibandla. Anil, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
How have you been?
Very good, sir. How are you?
Tell me a little about yourself, who you are, what you do, what have you been doing, and what you're up to.
Yeah, so name is Anil Patibandla. I am a Chief Strategy Officer of a company called CMCI.
CMCI?
Yeah, Chakrabarti Management Consultants, Inc.
Is the fellow that came from the IS, what's the name of the company, was CNS?
No, he came from IBM.
IBM.
Polak Chakrabarti is the CEO.
Okay.
So I'm the Chief Strategy Officer. We are involved in the national security business. We do threat and risk assessment for CBP.
Okay, so your customers are mostly what? Who?
Mostly DHS, Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Protection, about 36 million.
That's not bad.
Yeah, just graduated small business. We will graduate small business next year.
So you're Chief Strategy Officer. What does the Chief Strategy Officer do?
My primary responsibility is obviously growth. Business development. So most of CMCI's business has been DHS-centric. It's mostly threat and risk management using business analytics. But most of the business also is 8A and small business set-aside. As the company is growing, and we fully forecast that we'll be graduating small business next year. So the CEO brought me in because he wants us to diversify the client portfolio as well as get us ready for graduation.
That's a good point. Get ready for graduation.
Yes, sir.
And get ready to venture into full and open competition, which is
play with the big sharks.
Yeah, which is going to be. So when did you come to the United States?
91, 92.
So it hasn't been that long.
Quarter century. It's been
that long?
It's been a little while.
Okay. What do you like about America? What are the values that you like about America, and why did you come over here? And what's the difference between India and the United States?
Okay. So came here primarily for education. I came here from a master's. Better education.
Did you go to school?
I went initially to Oklahoma.
Okay.
Graduated from South Dakota State with a master's in engineering with a focus on environmental. Have enough credits to graduate from computer science, but got too lazy, never submitted the design paper. So I cannot claim that master's, but yeah, primarily came here for education. Then obviously liked the culture, so one of the differences that, you were asked, what do you like here? The dignity of labor.
The dignity of labor.
Yes, sir. So I came here just like most of the immigrants did. Came with a bag full of clothes, a handful of dollars.
With the $10?
Yes. I think 200 in my case, a little bit more.
I came with 15.
So
what a great country.
Absolutely. I don't think you can do that anywhere else in the world, right? To make an honest living, work hard with the dignity of labor, because
so work hard, aim high, and pursue your dream.
Yes, sir.
So it's America's inclusiveness, openness that provide you the latter opportunity to succeed.
Absolutely.
Is that those are the values that we can proudly and truly embrace about America? And your story and my story can only happen in America.
Absolutely, 100%.
So what's the difference between America and India in terms of the values and in terms of inclusiveness and openness and giving people opportunity to succeed?
It's a great question. One of the reasons that, I decided to stay back in the country, but I'm ambivalent sometimes because I miss my family and want to go back and help the people over there. But the biggest difference I see
You can still help.
Oh, I do. But not as much as I would or I can. I think I got a little bit selfish once I had started having family.
If you have a little bit of a financial independence, you definitely can help.
Right.
Yeah, go ahead. So tell me a little bit.
Yeah, the difference is, I think, our forefathers or ancestors in India has created a system that's really to differentiate people or to classify people based upon the work they did. That has been morphed into something entirely different as we have a long history, hundreds if not thousands of years of history. Today, most of that this is also system kind of encourages this, is now that's morphed into a class, creed, religion, race-based system.
You're absolutely right.
So,
background and belief.
Right. Instead of promoting or helping the people that really need the economic. Yeah, right.
So it still exists.
It still exists, and it's prevalent.
Is it frightening to you?
It is. I mean, one of the reasons that I initially came here is because I thought, it's a little bit more open here. There, it's really dependent upon. I came from a middle class family, and it didn't matter whether we needed economical assistance or not. It depends upon which school you got into, dependent upon what caste, creed, or race you belong to, or religion you belong to, which is kind of.
As you know, Anil, India has long succeeded because it gave opportunity to the people of color, creed, religion,
Absolutely.
race, background, and belief. India always stood tall with equality, dignity, tolerance, and respect for other faiths. And
I can't disagree more.
That's what made India a great nation. We can
So-
all learn from that.
Yes.
So, and that's at stake at India right now, as I hear.
Yeah.
Am I correct to assume that?
To a certain extent, yes. I mean, there are different opinions on how you look at it, right? So, but India, as you read, is as a secular nation, as a country that took care
It
of
always
people.
stood
Yeah,
for
it's-
equality, dignity.
But because of the political system now promotes vote banks, right? So during our constitution, there was a provision that's made that, okay, implement a certain system for a certain number of years to bring everybody up to the same level. But that's been extended over 50 years. And who are hurting are the people that really need the help. Because if you are benefiting from the system, it should be one per family. And then when your next generation comes, they're on par with everybody else.
Yes.
You cannot reap the same benefits generation after generation after generation.
Do you think the BJP government has poisoned the dialogue and debate and the discussions about the inclusiveness and also in a stronger India? Well, they're stronger in the sense, but it's not very inclusive. That's what we
Yeah,
hear.
I mean, I think there is definitely different
We're
viewpoints.
not here to criticize.
No,
we're here to. We're here to make
certainly,
sure that
I mean,
we can
they could do more to
yeah,
include.
they can do better.
They can do better to include. There are certain things that are being done, but I won't say that it's maybe as open as it was before. But there are good things in this government. At the same time, they can do things a little bit better to include more people, to bring more people into the fold.
It seems to me, Anil, and I've written many columns on this thing about the India has always stood for those kind of values and equality. Even it goes back to the 10th century and go to the Mughal empires and so on and so forth. They always live in peace and harmony, and those are the things, those are the values that they had. But India and in no nation can succeed if they does not give the opportunity to all the people.
I agree.
If they succeed, you succeed, all of us succeed, India succeeds, and the world succeeds.
Yes.
And exploit the fullest potential of each and every individual.
Because you are who you are because you're born in a certain family.
Exactly.
If I were to born
We didn't
here,
get a choice in our parents.
exactly, right. If I
Right?
born here, probably I would have been a Christian most likely. So I'm born in India. I'm a Hindu, but you didn't make the choice.
No.
But my
We didn't have
talent,
any-
my talent did not come from the fact that
Exactly.
I belong to a certain religion. So I agree with you. You have to bring everybody into the fold. You have to include everybody because your talent doesn't depend upon your knowledge. The capability that you bring to the table doesn't depend upon who you are, from where you're born,
So
or
we
what
want to
religion.
defend our country, we want to serve our country, India, but we want to keep struggling to make sure that becomes an inclusive and open society for all.
Yeah.
That's the motto that you believe in.
And that's what happens here.
Yes.
Right.
no
To a large
question.
extent, right? So
Yes.
maybe there's some people have a little bit of difference over to large extent. Otherwise, I don't think I
We will
would be
come
as
together
successful.
in this country. We will come together.
Yeah.
It has been hallmark of our country. I always see brighter horizon. What do you miss? What do you miss about India most?
Family, friends, and
Family, friends, arts,
and
culture, and food.
And
well,
food.
food you can get it over here.
But the thing that I think, I generally think, we in U.S. are somewhat sheltered, right? We kind of live in a bubble, right? So I get up, I get in my AC car, I go to work, I come back home, I watch a little bit of TV, play with my kids, go to bed, and day starts again.
Is it living in a cocoon?
In a bubble. I mean,
In a
maybe
bubble.
Right? In India, there is a lot more that you see. You're in touch with reality. You see the struggles, the trials and tribulations of people. Here, maybe in inner cities, you do some extent, but I would want to say 75% of the population here kind of live in a bubble in their own happy world. So I think if in India, by seeing that and feeling that every day, I think it keeps you grounded, keeps you modest.
What part of India are you from?
From South.
From south. Where south?
Andhra Pradesh.
Andhra Pradesh.
Very small town in Andhra Pradesh.
Oh, okay, good. So, should you take a job and start another company?
Thought about it.
And why? Why do you want to take a risk and be an entrepreneur or be a leader or venture into this new horizon? Why?
So
Is the sheer thrill of it?
No, I mean, I worked for a couple of years after I graduated. I started my business, focused on IT for higher education, sold it, dabbled with restaurant business.
Restaurant business?
Yeah, sold it, or exited, or at least sold my shares back. And then now I'm working for Mr. Polak at CMCI. So I've done both. In my opinion, if you love what you're doing, and if you're contributing and giving back to the society, and if you enjoy what you're doing, yes, making money and having a good life and having a quality of life, taking care of your kids and your family is definitely important. But at the same time, are you happy with what you're doing? Do you get up every day and enjoy and look forward to going to work? If you do that, I don't know if that's a big difference if you really are an employer or an employee. As an employer, yes, you will have more control over your time and you can do more. But I mean, if everybody is an employer, who's going to work for us, right? So
you want to give back to our country, our community, share, and you subscribe to the notion President Kennedy said, to whom much is given, much is expected, correct?
yes, sir.
So are you doing anything in those areas?
Yes, sir. So I'm involved in multiple charity organizations. Through Ramakrishna Mission, we give back, we sponsor several children in India. Every year.
What about the United States? America will give you the opportunity.
Absolutely. Every time, every year I set aside a certain amount of money, close to 10%. Before I used to give more, but after I got kids, I think I got a little bit more selfish.
You got more expenses.
Yeah, and I'm living in a house
10% is pretty good.
Living in a house that I don't need, driving a car I should not drive, but nonetheless, yeah, definitely. So every time there is a need that arises, if there is no need and there is no calamity, we'll just donate to Red Cross or donate to whatever the needs are. So, and also, one of the things I was telling my wife is, at certain point of time, at least both of us work now, one of us have to kind of get more involved in the community. Once my little one is out of the house.
You want to give a helping hand.
Yes, volunteer more. We do volunteer now, but not enough, I don't think.
So if somebody wants to get into the federal marketing or federal government, do you have any advice for them?
Patience.
Eh?
Patience.
Patience is a good way. It's a
precious
precious commodity.
You have to be in for the long haul.
You have to.
It's a very long sales cycle with the austerity measures and the sequestration and the low price technically acceptable world. I don't know if anybody really want to get into federal space, but think about the mission.
There's a lot of money there in federal space. Just the IT business have billions and billions of dollars.
I heard from SBA a couple of days ago that the U.S. government spent
SBA means the Small Business Administration.
$97 billion were spent last fiscal year, by the federal government just on small businesses. So, but the mission too, right?
Is the pie divided evenly? Is a certain small business company getting a lot more contract than the other small business because they can write a better proposal?
And also certain socioeconomic categories.
That
right?
is
if
also
you're
true.
A tribally owned company or an Alaskan native.
Then you have an 8A for the rest of your life.
Yes.
Which is wrong.
Correct.
Is that something they're going to change?
I don't see it. It's congressional mandate to change it. They do limit the sole sourcing now up to a certain extent.
But it's still the same, and they're $1 billion company. Alaskan Research Corporation is a good example, and they try to compete with the small business. That's just not fair.
It is not fair.
Yeah, and I don't think the Congress has a lot of hearing, but they didn't do anything about it.
I mean, Senator McCaskill had investigated and had done something, but
nothing
not enough.
Happened.
Not enough.
Nothing happened.
But the other thing, the reason probably people want to get into federal government, like I was saying, that we look at about 1 million passengers a day to make sure that no bad actors or dangerous actors are coming into the country. Similarly, the mission probably attracts a lot of people. In my previous company, I worked on a project called M6 at Department of Education that looks at the migrant students' trials and tribulations. Your parents pick up the pieces every couple of months and you leave, go to a new school. They don't know who you are.
Yeah.
You have no ID, you have no records, you have no grades. They start you up wherever they think. So education started a good program called M6. And so those kind of things, you get goosebumps, right? You're really helping folks that need the help. So
they need the most.
They need the most, correct.
So I have two questions for you. One is why the Indians are so successful, the first generations, and what do we do for the next generations?
Yeah. The first generation is actually, let me oversimplify it, right? So I leave my family, I leave my friends, take whatever little savings that my parents have, came to this country.
And cross the Atlantic Ocean to realize the American dream.
Right. So I don't think it is an option for me to go back with my tail tucked behind my back legs and say, you know what, Dad, I tried, but I failed. So failure, I don't think, is an option for most of the first generation immigrants. And also, what are you going to dad and mom say? They're going around town telling my son or my daughter went to America, all our fears are gone, all our hurdles are gone, now we're going to live a decent life because they're going to help us out. So that's number one.
So
again, I'm oversimplifying, but generally speaking, this nation is built by immigrants, right?
Yes,
so
no question.
Very hardworking, come here with an open mind, work hard and make an honest living, and in the process, when the opportunity arises, start a business and help other people and become wealthy. So the first generation, so I give my kids what I didn't have, right? So we pamper our kids. It's just nature of being a parent. But I think, like Bill Gates said, I'm not going to give anything to my kids. So we need to, as a first generation guys, teach, or the immigrants teach the first generation kids the humility, the trials and tribulations that we went through in order to be successful. Let them be grounded, right?
The sacrifice and the struggle that you went through, right? And hard work and hard efforts. Those are the values that you want
to impart in them.
You want them to make sure they understand it.
And if we can do that, and on top of it, if you can build a conscience for them, right? Have them have conscience. I always tell my son, all I can do is give you the best education I can, and have a conscience. So if you're standing on top of a bridge in the middle of the night, and then your friends are trying to jump off the bridge into the river to swim or skinny dip, I said, if something in your brain turns on and says, you know what, I should not do that.
Yeah.
I've done my job. So, teach them humility, build a conscience so that they can give back to the society. If we can do that, I think, we will flourish, not just one generation, for multiple generations.
That's the hope.
That's the hope.
So if somebody is watching, Anil, this show, and they're young generations, they're young people, they have a lot of excitement, they have a lot of energy, they do want to make a difference. My question to you is, what's the advice do you have for those young entrepreneurs who wants to be like you one day?
Again, pursue your dream.
Pursue your dream.
Do what makes you happy. But one of the things that we are gaining as a reputation as Southeast Asians, we are overly aggressive sometimes. We want to conquer the world. We want to boil the ocean.
Which is nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with it. But, in the process, don't cut any corners.
Don't cut any corners. Okay.
Do the right thing. I think, if you do the right thing and pursue your dream, you will get there. It may take a couple of years more, but, we want to make sure that we protect our integrity, right? Protect our reputation as an honest, working people. We don't want to create an impression that, these guys will do whatever to get to the next level. So if I have to tell them, pursue your dream, work hard, but be honest and retain integrity.
Okay,
and
so
you
those are the good qualities that I may want to add a couple of more for you.
Yes, sir.
Be the best you can be.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Exploit your fullest potential. Be a lifelong learner. Do something special.
You learn something every day. Absolutely.
And when you're successful, give other people opportunity to succeed also. When they succeed, all of us succeed. And the world succeeds.
Absolutely.
Right.
And 85% of the jobs here are created by small businesses.
No question. A small business, the engine that drives the economy.
Yes. And that may be another difference between India and United States. If you're going to go back and help, I think we should change the mindset of the young generation. Don't just want to be an engineer or a doctor. Go work for the government.
So do
be
you
creative. Start something.
Yeah, you are absolutely right. So, in order for you to start a business, you need the capital.
Correct.
You need the ideas. There's many factors.
That's where
that
I think the
influences
bureaucracy should go down, you can go to LegalZoom or you can go online and start your company in 5 minutes.
What about the corruption? There's so much corruption in India as well.
Yes.
Right. You can't get anything done.
That comes along with the
territory?
with the part of the territory. But I think, I believe every human being given an opportunity want to be a good person, right? So a policeman in India,
every human being has something to offer to the country.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you exploit their potential.
If you pay them the right wages, maybe they won't want to take the 100 rupees from you to let you go from your not wearing helmet ticket. So there are things I think that compel the individuals to And also, it's on the people, right? If you refuse to give the 100 rupees and take the ticket or take the penalty for 1,000 rupees, then next time maybe he won't ask.
Yeah.
So,
You see brighter horizon for the new generations of Indian in India?
absolutely, because we are now in global economy, right?
They got to compete.
They got to compete, and you have no more excuses. So, and the country is providing. If the country is not providing, there is IDF coming into the country. The world is at your fingertips. So, I do see a lot of change. I do see a lot of hubs starting up for startup companies within India. I think we are the next superpower. I mean, believe it or not.
Well, at least that's the hope.
Right. We as U.S. and India.
Yeah, but remember, India, with all its promises, potentials, and possibility, remains an island of prosperity in an ocean of poverty.
It is.
Poverty drains institution. Poverty crushes the hope of the people. I see a brighter horizon. I hope that we see India, that we want to see India flourish, and also look forward to the ideals of equality and giving opportunity to all the peoples.
Amen to that.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, Anil, for
Thank you,
coming.
sir. It was an honor.
And thank you for your service to our country, to our community, and also thank you for giving back to our country. And
really
thank you very
appreciate
much
the
for all
opportunity.
you do.
Thank you, sir.
And this is Frank Islam wishing you a great week. And thank you for watching.